Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of February 24th, and we're in the midst of traveling through the portal between the eclipses. And we are also going to see Mercury stationing retrograde this week, slowing things down. The Sun in a conjunction with the North node opposing the South node, and so much more. By this time next week, we will be chatting about the lunar eclipse in Virgo. So we're moving from the new moon into the full moon, and that is always a culminating type of energy, and also between the eclipses is just amplified so much more. So again, this is just a complete wild card energy, and we get 2 eclipse seasons during the year. So this is the first of 2 for 2026, and we're getting the Pisces Virgo eclipses because the North Node is in Pisces. North Node is our future. It's where we're headed. It's the things that want to come into our life. And the South Node is in Virgo, and these are the things we are letting go of, purging and detoxing, and the areas we are walking away from in our life. So very much a time of transformation, and it is a time where we travel through the wormhole, and we could really end up in a totally different place than where we began. So I hope the travels through the wormhole are going okay for you, and stay in it, because Pisces and Virgo are 2 of the feminine energies. Pisces is all about empathy and feeling into the intuition, and Virgo is about service and putting in the work that's necessary, and also releasing and detoxing and cleaning things up. So that is the energies that we are entering with for the week. And on the 24th of February, the moon is in Gemini. And so the moon is where the mood is. And Gemini is an air sign and much more social and outward and curious and wanting to ask a lot of questions and collect data and to just have conversations. Gemini is the sign of the twins. It's the sign of doing things twice. And it's also that conversation between 2 people and our relationships between 2 people. And Gemini is more of like a surface type of energy, where it doesn't like to get too deep, and that is very much in a little bit of conflict with a lot of the energy that we have also entering the week, which is in Pisces, and we have a lot of water energy too. So a lot of emotional type of energy, and more deep, and also a little more passive. And Gemini is more of that outward, talker and communicator, not afraid to just ask a bunch of questions and figure stuff out. And so that is in a square with a lot of this Pisces energy, where it's a little more inward, a little more emotional and intuitive, where we have Mercury setting up for retrograde in Pisces, very much sitting still at the moment, only has a tiny distance to go before stationing, and then actually starting to move in a backwards motion. And Venus is traveling through Pisces. We got that North Node there, and the Sun. And the Sun is what season it is. So that is our main filter and focus in which we're seeing the world. So we have a lot of Pisces energy, and Pisces has really been through it. The Neptune, the planets of Neptune and Saturn, both were in Pisces for an extended amount of time. Then the North Node entered there, and we saw the past year to year and a couple months where there was a lot of energy in Pisces. Saturn was there for 2.5 years. Neptune was there for 14 years. So Pisces has seen a lot of action lately, and this is going to be a new Pisces season and a new type of Mercury retrograde in Pisces, because Saturn and Neptune have both moved into Aries for good and are done with Pisces. So that is going to change the energy here, what's available during Pisces season, where we can go with it with our intuition, and just feels a little less crowded this time around. Now, next month, when we are in Aries season and everything is in Aries, then we're going to have Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron joined by the rest of the party. And that is going to be a very, very intense Aries season. And for the next 2.5 years, Aries will have Saturn traveling through, and the next 13 years of Neptune traveling through Aries. So that is very much setting up a lot for Aries, but relieves a lot for Pisces. So once the North Node leaves Pisces by, I think it's like August or something, and the North Node's going to move into Aquarius, then Pisces is going to be completely relieved. So hang in there, Pisces, and anything squaring like Sagittarius, Gemini in a square to Pisces, been receiving this intense, potent energy, and Virgo, because Virgo's in opposition to that. So that energy is about to be relieved come the end of the summer, and the North Node leaves Pisces. But on the 25th of February, the moon is going to move into Cancer, and we get some more of this watery energy. In the sign of Cancer is the moon's home sign. So the moon operates really well here, feels at home, and does its best. And the moon is the mood. It creates the vibes that we're feeling. And the moon in Cancer is a much more private type of energy. Jupiter is also in Cancer, and Jupiter is a very large planet. So that big energy of Jupiter is feeling more of this Cancerian energy of the need to feel safe and secure. So when we move into Wednesday, it's a much more inward type of energy. And this is the day also that Mercury is setting up and stationing retrograde. And that is at 22 of Pisces, and going to be taking the next 3 weeks to travel back to 8 degrees of Pisces. So look in your chart. What area of life, which house is this for Pisces, 22 to 8 Pisces for you? And what area of life is this asking you to go back and reflect on and review? And this is going to very much be pulling our energy back into past events, past experiences. Mercury goes retrograde and wants to slow things down and actually have us go back to old material to check on it and make sure that everything is ready to go. This takes a little while. We're going to be doing this Mercury retrograde for the next month and a half, and there's going to be a lot of processing taking place here. As Mercury slows down, it's going to really pull the energies back too. So be prepared. Have a lot of patience, because all things mercurial are slowing down, and that is including just our travels, our planning, our shopping, the actual flow of communication and messaging. That all slows down. And actually for a few days while Mercury is sitting so still, it can almost almost feel like stuck. And this includes technology too, but it's going to be lots of Pisces things. So Pisces intuition, empathy, going to just be muddying a lot of these Pisces things. And so more Pisces themes, this is where drugs and alcohol and addiction is ruled here. Pisces is all about endings and completion. Since it's the last sign of the zodiac, it rules the feet. As in terms of the actual body part that this sign rules, it is the feet. And Pisces is the most tuned in to source energy than all the other signs. It is very connected to the intuition and messaging from source. So a very emotional, sort of passive type of watery energy. And this is where the work is going to be being done by Mercury here over the next several weeks, where we're going to be reflecting and reviewing on the past and all of these Pisces themes. So check your chart and see where this is going to be setting up for you. The messaging is not super duper clear right at this moment because we're just getting set up for it. But come the next week, Mercury will be moving backwards. We'll be doing a lot of this work. And then on February 26th, this is a day where we don't have any planetary aspects, but we do have lunar aspects. The moon is in a square to Saturn, and that brings a sense of challenge to responsibilities and rules, structures, and anything that is a responsibility in our life could be challenged with a square to the moon, also an inconjunct to Pluto. And that is making adjustments to some transformation that's taking place. Pluto is all about death and rebirth. And so some area of our life is we are feeling and adjusting to transformation. Also, this is the day when we have the trine and the sextile with the nodes. So the nodes create fateful and destined activity. So Thursday could be kind of a destined fateful day where things trine, sextile kind of fall into place, come into harmony and balance. On the 27th, this is kind of a loaded day. This is the day when the sun actually meets up with the North Node in Pisces. This is going to be right at 9 degrees, bringing in more of this faded, destined eclipse type of energy. So pay attention to what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what sort of, experiences are coming in to our life, because North Node is the stuff that wants to come in. This is the direction. This is the future of our life. And this is also putting the sun in an opposition to the South Node. So very much making decisions to release and let go of areas of life as new areas are coming in. This day on the 27th also has a pretty potent planetary aspect where Mars is going to square Uranus. Uranus is the planet of surprise and of change and of awakening and of revolution. And Mars is very much a quick-moving planet that is all about action and is the warrior. And so this square between Mars and Uranus is quite volatile. It can be a trigger. Since both of these planets are both very fast moving, this could just something very quick and active could take place. This is kind of unpredictable, more wild card energy this week on the 27th, taking good care, because this is kind of a aspect Mars square Uranus, this is an aspect of conflict also. So not pushing or forcing anything that doesn't need to happen, conversations that are trying to take place that aren't necessary, that are leading to sort of volatility or unpredictability, or trying not to instigate anywhere that doesn't need to be instigated, because this type of aspect can very much be a trigger. It can be like the string just kind of gets pulled too tight and it snaps. So be very, very careful with the actions that you're taking over the course of Friday. And really, we're feeling it. We're leading up to it. We're in it already. So be very, very careful this week with that energy. And then also on the 27th, a very busy day. So Friday is just going to be very busy, very faded, very much a potential for surprises and very fast, quick moving energy. And this also, Mercury in retrograde is going to conjunct with Venus. And this is the second time that we've seen Mercury and Venus during this cycle have a conjunction, except for this time, Mercury is traveling backwards and dealing with past circumstances and experiences and reviewing things and reflecting on things. And so Venus comes through this point of Mercury's reflection, and we reflect on Venus things. And Venus is relationships. It's also just our financial flow. It's also our value systems, where we put value in our life, and we could be reviewing any of these themes. Venus is also just pleasurable things. We could just be kind of rethinking where and how we find pleasure, or any other Venus themes. And this is going to be right around 20 degrees of Pisces, this second conjunction with Mercury in retrograde and Venus. There's just a lot of people. There could be people, past experiences, or even that kind of stuff, like coming up again, people from our past or relationships from the past. This is coming up for a reason, of course, so we can review it and make adjustments and make it better. And on the 28th, the moon moves into Leo. We get a shift of the mood this day. Leo is a fire sign, so a lot different than Cancer. Cancer, we feel all of our emotions very strongly. And when we get to Leo, it's more of a sign about the heart space and about our passions. And it's more lighthearted and wants to be playful and have a more childlike spirit to it. It can bring with it a little drama, and it's a very fun type of energy, the fire sign of Leo. And then we enter into March with that Leo moon Sunday, another day where we don't have any planetary aspects. But when we get to Monday, the 2nd of March, the moon moves into Virgo. We get a grounded Virgo energy after that playful couple of days with the moon in Leo. And this is where also we see on the 2nd, Mars moving into Pisces and joining up with the Pisces party. So not going to miss out on any of that this time around, but Mars is going to miss out on the Aries party and wonder what the heck happened with his home sign when he got there. Going to have plenty of company still with Saturn, Neptune in Aries for a while. Saturn for 2.5 years, Neptune for 14 years. Chiron's going to be moving out of Aries into Taurus later this year. So that will relieve a little bit of Aries working on the immortal wounds there, and that will move to Taurus's responsibility for several years. But with Mars moving into Pisces, this is a little more challenging because Pisces is like a water sign. Mars is a fiery type of planet. Can be challenging for Mars in Pisces. That's going to be bringing just more empathetic feelings and kind of muddying up our physical body a little bit because Pisces likes to dissolve all of the details. And then next week when we come back on Tuesday, we'll be talking about the Virgo lunar eclipse, which is going to close out this eclipse cycle. And Virgo, man, this is like South Node Virgo has been so interesting to talk about because Virgo, the sign of detox and purging with the South Node, which is like all about removing things from our life. It's so powerful. So I'm very interested to talk about this next week and see where it all leads. So safe travels through the wormhole. I know that you're going to do totally awesome. And I thank you so much for being tuned in here to the Cosmic Community Astrology with your galactic ambassador, Stacey Dredd. Take such good care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.